CJ, can you just talk about the last 2 minutes for yourself? Obviously missing the front end of both of those one-on-ones, and then hitting the shot to tie the game. And then can you talk about the game winner too?
Yeah, obviously those free throws, hurt. But I think with us being solid on defense, and we gave up a tough offensive rebound, but we were solid on defense through it, and we stayed solid, and we helped each other on the drives, and we had each other's back on defense. So I think that gave us the opportunity to, have the ball and put it in at the end.
And he's clutch. Got that ice in his veins.
Can you just talk about watching that, Isaac, watching that whole run happen and everything unfold, and CJ kind of being the hero there?
Oh, I've seen it before. I've seen it plenty of times. We play together. I've seen it in high school. I've seen it here. I've just seen it. So it's nothing new, man. I know he's capable of making big shots, and, he's a big-time player. That's what they do.
You guys know it was important not to be complacent, considering that this team obviously came back from 22 down on Saturday to beat Arizona, and then I think you guys were up by 15. They erased all of that deficit too.
Yeah, that was one of the things we've been trying to work on, is just being solid even when the other teams are going on runs and we're not scoring so much. It's still being solid on defense. But offensively, when the ball's in Isaac's hands, I know he had 7 assists tonight. So, he just makes plays and keeps the offense flowing.
On the last shot, what's kind of the mindset there? Was that the set play, or did you
Yeah, so we had to play, and it was pretty much, kind of like that. It wasn't exactly how we were supposed to run it, but IB, got the ball to me, and obviously my teammates trust me. And so I'm more credit to him, for giving me the ball, and the ball went in.
You guys did a really good job, especially in the second half, on Remy Martin as a team. I think he only had 2 points in the second half, came in as the Pac-12's leading scorer. Was there an extra effort to kind of limit him, or is he just manning up like usual?
Man, we got credit to Jervay Robinson, man. He does a great job every night of playing against typically the best player offensively on their team. And, he just does a really good job. And I think as a team, we just really hone in defensively because it's preached so much. So it's just naturally instilled in us from Coach Smith and definitely Coach Shaw. So we know we got to come in every single game and lock in on the best players like that. Gervais just does a great job of it every night, so credit to him.
And CJ, did you see something maybe in the scout that you felt in their defense was maybe worth exploiting there?
No. I just try to we got to put pressure on the defense and get downhill. I think we're very, effective offensive team when we do that because defense collapses. And like I said, he really knows how to dish that ball out to Jeff and to the perimeter when he drives and kicks. And then also can be a threat in scoring the ball. So, yeah.
And Isaac, we've talked about ball movement and transition is where you guys, because, there's some lulls, but then there's hot streaks. Was it kind of the same thing tonight when the ball movement and transition was kind of what was most prominent in those hot streaks? Or?
Honestly, it started from a defensive standpoint, but I think we did a better job when we slowed the ball down. They're a team that wanted to speed us up, get us into turnovers, quick shots and everything, and that's what they did to get back against Arizona. And I said it did tonight, and I feel like I didn't do a great job of, controlling the ball. But, just in terms of, as a team effort, we always get out and run and everything, but we did a good job of knowing when to go and when to slow down. We definitely did a good job of slowing down at the end when, we could have got out of hand, I feel like.
So this is just another edition of, late game finishes for the team. Obviously with Mexico State, UCLA, it's just another chapter in your guys' book from finishing games late. Is this kind of, keep increasing the confidence every time, or is this just strengthening their guys' game plan every week?
I think it's just strengthening us. We don't want to have to come down to the wire like that. It'd have been better if, I missed some big free throws, but if we just could have, kept the lead down the stretch. They came back against Arizona, like IB said, and they came back against us tonight, and we just stood strong.
Now, with some of the passes you guys had in driving the lane and trying to flip it to either Jeff or Markovetsky, some of the passes kind of bobble and catch a little bit. Is it a little bit of improv on your guys' part, or do you think there needs to be somewhat of a, improvement on catching some of those surprise passes?
I feel like this game tonight was two gritty teams playing against each other. That's exactly what they want. They want from teams offensively, and that's what we want from teams offensively. And just being handsy. It was a rough game in terms of fouls. We had to play through a lot, and we just kept fighting. And at the end of the day, we just got to be strong with the ball. 50-50 balls. It can go either way. So we got to get on that, and that's what we worked on in practice. That's what Coach preached on us. from the last game. We didn't do a great job on 50-50 balls, but just being strong with the ball, that's what we worked on in practice, so it just naturally happened.
Markovetsky played about 10 minutes tonight, although it seems like he had a more prominent role tonight. It's about a minute over his career high. What did you guys think about his performance tonight? Did he really kind of give you guys that spark off the bench down low?
Yeah, he came in and he stood his ground. He played really good against a very good post player that Arizona State has, Willis and White. But yeah, he came in and he played great minutes. I thought he had one bobble or so, but he was playing very strong down low for us.
Yeah, so I think you guys now have 4 straight victories at home in the Pac-12. What are you going to have to do to get that to translate to wins on the road?
We always talk about it on the road. We just got to slow down, shorten runs. Every team is going to have momentum at home like we do. But I think our issue right now is just letting the runs go a little too far. We can go up like 9 at Utah and then we lose a lead pretty quick there, and it happens in a quick span, and then the runs go too long. I feel like if we find a way to shorten those, we can do a lot better on the road and put ourselves in a better position.
I'm a little bit off the subject of the game tonight, but tonight is your guys' first game since the passing of Kobe Bryant. I just want to get your guys' I want you to just explain a little bit how he impacted your guys' basketball careers and how you felt about that.
Well, he had a big impact just on me, as in terms of my dad was a diehard Kobe fan growing up. His games were always on the TV, Laker gear always in the house. My dad had flags flying from the car. So growing up, I loved watching him play. I think I've kind of, just from things he said and how he plays, took away his work ethic, his mentality that he brings to the game. And obviously, he left a great legacy. And he'll always be remembered, and it's obviously very sad that he's passed, and it's just tragic. I think about it all the time throughout the day, watch his videos, so it's just super sad, and prayers to his family and to his friends, but just very tragic.
It's definitely tragic. For me personally, I grew up, that was my favorite player all time. That was my Michael Jordan, our Michael Jordan, our generation, and it's a tough loss. We were on the plane back, and we heard the news, and it was just like, no, I can't believe it. A guy that done so much in his basketball career, but not only in his basketball career, but with his family, in terms of business, winning an Oscar. He's just such a big role model for me and everybody around the world, and it just is so much bigger than basketball at the end of the day. And rest in peace to Gianna too. She was a special athlete and girl, and Kobe really loved his daughter, and it was just a really tragic way to go out. But in terms of that, I feel like we can all take from that, take from Kobe how he's been a role model to everybody, and the mindset he's always had, and how he just pushes everything to the limit, and he lives life to the fullest, and everything he does, he puts it all into it. And as athletes and as our team, I feel like we can really take from that, and just a really sad loss, but I think we can take a lot of good things from what he's done.
CJ, during different parts of the game, it seemed that you and Tayshaun Cherry were kind of going back and forth. Does that kind of give you a little bit of a boost when you're kind of, talking a little bit with an opposing player, kind of get your drive up just even maybe a little bit more from where it already is?
I always thought that the game is more mental than physical at times, and that does kind of get me going. And I appreciate the things he said, because I think I came in and hit a 3 in his face down at the other end, so.